Russell Wilson and Justin Simmons are named to the NFL Top 100 list. The Denver Broncos signed linebacker Joe Shobert, and Randy Gregory and Billy Turner are activated off the PUP list. Hello everyone, and welcome to Denver Broncos Syndicate, part of the Sports Syndicate family of channels where we are dedicated to bringing you content about our favorite sports teams. I am your host, Gage Madrid. Before we jump in, we just have to get the housekeeping stuff out of the way, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. It's the easiest way that you can show your support for the channel, and it would help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the beginning of the regular season. Last night and this morning, we had an absolute flood of Denver Broncos news. A lot has happened in the past 12 hours, so in this video, I just wanted to bring you guys up to speed. Last night, the NFL revealed the first half of their top 100 players list for the 2022 season. This list, of course, is based on a poll of active players in the NFL who are asked to rank their top 100 peers. 2 Denver Broncos were named to this list, and it shouldn't come as a surprise as to who those 2 players are. I am, of course, talking about Russell Wilson and Justin Simmons, our best player on offense and our best player on defense. So let's find out where they rank. Simmons was voted as the 81st best player, and Wilson was voted as the 61st best player in the NFL entering 2022. Wilson was ranked ahead of quarterbacks such as Derek Carr, Mac Jones, and Kirk Cousins, but behind Kyler Murray. As of making this video, the top 50 players have yet to be revealed, but I have to imagine that players such as Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford are going to be ranked ahead of Russ. Personally, I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I am a massive fan of both Dak and Stafford, but if I was given a choice between them and Russ to start my franchise, I'm going to pick Russ 10 times out of 10. Although last season was a down year by Russ's standard, he was still a top 10 quarterback in the league in adjusted QBR. Despite missing 3 games last season, Russ still tossed 25 touchdowns to just 6 picks, even though he was stuck in a Seattle offense that limited him due to Pete Carroll's obsessive philosophy of running the football and playing conservative offense. Although he did have a couple of tough games as he worked his way back from the finger injury that knocked him out for those 3 games, the last 5 weeks of the season, Russ began to look like himself again. Watching him in camp, I see no lingering effects from the injury as his throws still have elite accuracy, velocity, and touch. Russ has the opportunity to prove that his supposed decline last season was more of a product of being stuck on a bad Seattle roster last season, as well as lingering effects from his finger injury. I'm pumped for him to make the doubters eat their words. I can at least respect the Justin Simmons ranking, as safety isn't a position that is generally ranked as high as others. The only safeties that were ranked ahead of him were Antoine Winfield and Budda Baker. Personally, I can't imagine anyone being ranked higher than Budda, so Justin being ranked as the 3rd highest safety in the league is certainly respectable. Moving on to some other Broncos news, it was announced this morning that the Denver Broncos have signed veteran linebacker Joe Shobert. This comes in wake of the injury to Jonas Griffith, who is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a dislocated elbow. The Broncos brought in Shobert for a workout a couple of weeks ago, and in his introductory press conference, he revealed that he and his wife were already living in the Denver area, so the Broncos didn't have to look far to find him. I made a video talking more in depth about what Shobert could potentially bring to the team when we initially worked him out, so if you want to learn more about Shobert, please click the little card above to check out that video. In a corresponding move, the Broncos announced that they have waived veteran guard Ben Braden, who was signed as a free agent this offseason from the Green Bay Packers. Braden struggled to make an impact for the Broncos throughout camp, and now he hopes to latch on to another roster for the remainder of the preseason. There's also some massive news on the injury side of things, and for once, it's actually good news. It was announced this morning that the Broncos have activated right tackle Billy Turner and edge rusher Randy Gregory off the physically unable to perform list. This means that they have both passed their physicals and are ready to start practicing with the team. As of right now, the only Broncos player who remains on PUP is guard/tackle Tom Compton, who had a back procedure earlier in the month. Gregory and Turner are both expected to be eased into practice slowly, as the team doesn't want to ramp them up too much. Having both of those guys back is going to be absolutely massive for the Denver Broncos. Broncos. Gregory was the Broncos' big-ticket free agent signee this offseason. He signed a 5-year, $70 million deal with $28 million in guarantees. Gregory has always showed flashes of elite talent, but injuries and suspensions have unfortunately kept him off the field for a good chunk of his career. Gregory had a career season last year with Dallas and hopes to be able to continue to build off that momentum alongside Bradley Chubb on the edge. Gregory had surgery this offseason to repair damage in his shoulder. In a press conference today, Gregory said that his shoulder was something that he had been dealing with for a couple of years now, and surgery was the best course of correction moving forward. Gregory said that he strongly believes that he'll be ready to go for week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks. He's making great progress, and now the key is to get back to where he was pre-operation. As far as Billy Turner is concerned, he is working his way back from knee injuries that he dealt with last season with the Green Bay Packers. Assuming that he is healthy, Turner is slated to be the Broncos' starting right tackle this season. Calvin Anderson filled in for Turner at the right tackle spot throughout training camp, but his play was up and down. I view Anderson as more of a natural left tackle than right tackle. Turner has been a solid starting right tackle for the Green Bay Packers since 2019, and he's versatile. He can play every position along the offensive line except for center. This season, Turner hopes to solve our woes at the right tackle position in his second stint with the Broncos. I'm very glad that they're going to ramp him up slowly, as we are going to really need him down the stretch. So definitely a busy day at UC Health Training Center, and by tomorrow afternoon, the Broncos are going to have to trim their active roster down from 90 to 85 players, so the craziness is only going to continue. Be sure to keep it right here on Denver Broncos Syndicate for continuing Denver Broncos coverage. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL. And for now, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out and let's ride.